welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, the podcast celebrating movies and filmmakers that embrace the insane, the outrageous, the unhinged, the off-kilter, and the all-around kind of messed up fun you can't take your eyes off of. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Griffey, joined as always by friend, co-host, and guy you got to keep away from the maid,
Alex Dandino.
All right, before we start, a brief bit of business. Please go to YouTube, subscribe to Misfit Parade on YouTube, see video versions of the pods, other short, cool stuff we're doing over there. That would mean the world to us. Go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page. Best way to support this show, help it grow. We got cool mini-series where we talk about different TV shows. We got Alien Earth, Creep Tapes, Black Mirror, Tales from the Crypt, all kinds of good stuff. We have a huge Patreon exclusive library that our patrons help us pick movies for every month. We would love you to come over there. That's the best way to help us grow this endeavor. All right, Alex, it's October, so we're going in, dude. We're doing a lot of episodes this month. We are now, our theme this month is we are going through the Universal Monsterverse, right? Maybe the most formative piece of movies that decided the kind of film viewer I would become, right? And pairing them with Hammer horror movies, because Hammer kind of came along and trod very similar paths, right? Very different inverted versions of the Universal attempts, right? Which I think is a fun exercise. So yesterday we did Frankenstein. Today we find ourselves at 1957's The Curse of Frankenstein. Here's our, directed by Terence Fisher, starring Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee again, obviously. While awaiting execution for murder, Baron Victor Frankenstein tells the story of a creature he built and brought to life, only for it to behave not as he intended. That is a wild last line of a synopsis. So we talked last time about the kind of beautiful imagery, the relatable monster that, you know, we could imagine being friends with, that he could have had a better path, right? I think maybe the fact that I saw Monster Squad first and they became friends with Frankenstein made me think that, you know, Frankenstein being a monster, bogus. I didn't like it, right?
Sure.
We talked about how Colin Clive played Frankenstein as kind of a power-hungry madman and then becomes a flaccid little wiener and just lets his monster, you know, run out in the world and hopes for the best. I will say, any tact, subtlety, metaphor that the 1931 movie was operating with about playing God and class and this and that, The Curse of Frankenstein said, to hell with subtlety, we're going to throw it in the lake and kill it like a little girl. This movie really fucking cranks the knobs up. Peter Cushing as Baron Frankenstein is one of the biggest cunts who's ever been in a movie. Like, just a horrible,
it's like
irredeemable piece of shit human being.
I mean, it's funny too because it starts with him like just the intro of him as a little as a young guy, as a young kid. He sends away for a tutor. This guy shows up. He's like, "Yeah, where's your parents?" And he goes, "I'm the Baron." He's like,
"Yeah,
okay.
Gotcha."
He's like,
"Well, okay.
Yeah, what do you think about
this
that?"
whole family, right? Because not only that, his mom dies. He seems pretty okay with it because now he inherits the vast wealth. Yeah. He tricks this tutor, and then his aunt's like, "Hey, man, hey, nephew, you're not going to forget our arrangement, right? I kind of live at the goodwill of your mom." He's like, "Yeah, I'll pay you, just leave." And she's like, "Hey, check out your 8-year-old cousin, looking sharp, right?" And he's like, "Maybe." And I was like, whoa. I was like, there's a lot of problems in the Frankenstein house. I was like, this is the prelude? This is the prelude? Okay.
This is like, before we start getting into the story, it's like, wait, did she just offer up a cousin? What is going on?
Yeah, this is a weird barter system I guess they had in Bavaria back in the day. This is strange. What they do, because we kind of time jump, and I think one of the funniest things in the movie is that the tutor ages, and then young Christopher Lee still looks, Peter Cushing looks so much older than him. He just has dyed hair. He looks like a 1980s wrestler, right? Just like very dark dyed hair. And I was like, he still looks like an old scarecrow person. But neither here nor there. The story of this movie, right? Frankenstein's already in jail for a murder he claims he didn't commit, right? He's pleading with this priest to hear him out. He's manic. He's scared. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. We know the Frankenstein story, right? He didn't commit the murder. I think going back and watching the first Frankenstein, you're like, this is definitely the same thing they got Manson on. Like, you may not have wrote Helter Skelter on the wall and stabbed everyone, but you are 100% responsible for these murders, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, we start the story. It kind of has this, like, classic Hammer horror, right? Like, it's just very kind of technicolor and beautiful and opulent. The sets are great. And it kind of disarms you, right? And we watch Peter Cushing and this tutor start to get into it, right? And he's talking about how after a couple years, he had learned everything he could from the tutor, right? He's so smart. That then they started researching together. I think one of the fun things with this one, I think the tutor is a great addition to this story. Because it gives us an immediate sounding board for Frankenstein's theories and the ethical kind of bullshit. What it also does is it gives you someone who's actually close to Frankenstein, who actually cares about him before he becomes a monster.
Yeah.
In 31, everyone kind of comes in after the fact. No one feels close or like they've ever met. This guy, and this is the other thing, right? I feel like they're playing this a little tongue-in-cheek that these guys were lovers, right? Like, there's a real, like, tension between them. And I think it adds this extra emotionality to the Frankenstein story. I think that was the math they made in this whole movie. Because we got to crank up the emotions of the non-monster characters. And I think the tutor's integral to this. What do you make of this addition to the story?
I think the tutor's integral, I just think for a different reason. I would say, like, the reason that the tutor works is because
Robert Urquhart?
Robert
Urquhart.
I think the tutor works because Paul Kremp, is that how you say the name? Either way.
Yeah.
Kremp's inclusion works because you need a sounding board in 1957 to say, like, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Maybe don't do that. Because, like, not only is he, like, building a man from scratch and, like, kind of like playing God. That's, like, I gotta say, in terms of the wrong things he does in this movie, that's like third of the list.
What? No, this is number one. Banging your maid and cousin is unsavory.
Banging your cousin is not great at all.
Well, cheating on your cousin with your maid.
Number one is killing people for your scientific purposes, like straight up murdering people for your scientific purposes.
Okay,
number
so
two,
wait, we got to rank these. Yeah, cheating on your cousin with your maid is kind of a quaint Kentucky crime. Not into it, but it's not high on the list.
Banging your cousin is not great.
He's killing people and fucking sewing their bodies together.
Killing people to get body parts isn't great. That's probably number one.
Yeah, I think the whole body parts for a monster that then kills more, that's number one.
Creating a person to play God's probably number two. Okay, I'm re-ranking these. Sorry, you're right.
Banging your tutor.
I forgot he murdered people.
Maid.
That's number one. Number one's the murder.
You think
murders is number one?
You think the murder of that old man who was already on his way out is worse than what he did with the monster and getting the eyeballs and all that? Why did he kill that guy? To service the number one crime he did, which is playing with dead bodies.
I mean, he killed a lot of people. It wasn't just the old man. Like, he killed the
I think they said he only killed the one.
That's not true.
And then he kills the maid with the monster.
Did he kill the guy with the hands, too?
No, I don't think so. I think he died, and then he went and picked him up. He's, like, got flesh merchants, right? We see the scene.
Okay, sorry. So
when he goes and the guy gives him eyeballs.
He killed the old man, flesh merchant / grave robbed the other people. Like, there are a lot of sins in this movie. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with any of them.
And yeah, number 4 is just being fucking insufferable.
Yeah,
number 4 is just everything. Number 4 is like insufferable.
Number 4 is being that guy who's like, I'm the smartest person in the room. You're like, God, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like everyone who says that finds themselves often in empty rooms because no one wants to be around them.
Great.
So you're
Enjoy
right.
Yourself.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're right. You're a cunt, and we hate you. But I think you see this like him and Paul. There's like this real tension, this kind of brotherly thing, maybe loverly thing. And they do this first thing where they have this cool tub, right? Which looks very much like the Rocky Horror tub. Where as the liquid drains and the electricity goes in and the wheel spins, all that, they reanimate this cat, right? They bring a cat back from the dead.
That was a dog.
And he's like, our dog. That's right. It was a puppy. It was a puppy.
Oh, sorry. Dude, that's another thing. Right? Bringing a puppy back to life.
Yeah, he may have killed that puppy to then bring it back to... All right, this guy's got a lot of crimes. We're going to have an official ranking after the show. But he says, essentially, he's like, a dog is cool. We got to do it with a person, right? And he goes, we hold the secrets in our hand that no man has ever conceived. And I think that line's super important because, of course, people have conceived how to live after the death. Every culture going all the way back, has like post-death rituals. We all imagine an afterlife. Religion is nothing if not a myth that tells us we will have life eternal. We will live. We will go somewhere else. We all have conceived of this.
Yeah.
But he wants to make it flesh. He wants to bring heaven down to earth, right? And be God. And I think there's something about watching Kremp go as far as the dog. He's watching make the body and seemingly helps with the body. And then he's like, all right, now I got to call nonsense and poppycock. It's crazy. And I think Kremp is the classic. He's enamored with the genius of Victor. He's enamored with the idea, like all scientific minds are, right? Of pushing further and secrets, right?
Yeah.
But I think he knows, he has this gut feeling something very bad is going to happen. This isn't right. But he's still somewhat attracted. I think him coming back perennially throughout the story, it's not just to stop the experiment, right? I think he does care for Frankenstein in a way. And I think it becomes this really, because again, the cousin romance angle never really gets very far. The old man doesn't get very far. The maid he bangs doesn't get far. Kremp is the only person he seemingly likes or respects in any way in the whole movie. And so I think Kremp becomes this super valuable asset to the film to kind of keep reminding us, right? Because I think in the first one, we're just left to say, yeah, this is scary and horrible. This one wants to rub our noses in the long, because in that first movie, I mean, he makes the monster. We don't even see that, right? He gets some bodies and he electrocutes that thing quick and we have a monster. This one puts us in this two guys arguing during this long, arduous journey to just find body parts, to sew them together, right? And it gives this extra tension to the story that I found very cool watching them back to back.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I like again, I do like the check-in. I think the check-in's the valuable thing about the character. It's just, he always comes back, and I do think that it's a curiosity thing. It's not, and it's probably a little bit of, lovers.
Curiosity killed the puppy, for sure.
But, like, I do like this, like, constant check-in from Paul, like, did you do something bad now? Oh my God, it's so much worse than I thought. You're like, dude, where have you been? Like, did you think this wasn't going to stop?
He knows that Victor killed that guy. And then he comes running into it because he kills this old man, right? Because he has the best brain in Europe. And the old man, he's like, step back so you can see the painting. Look out! And fucking yeets his ass over the rail. And the guy, the way the stuntman falls.
Holy shit,
face
on his
first,
head.
Crack. Dude, it's violent and brutal.
And then
and
Peter
Paul's
Cushing's like weird
Paul's
little
not
smile.
immediately at the authorities. He's just like, he waits for the whole funeral to be over and all that. And he comes in, he's like, Victor, I knew it. You're not cool. And they fucking fight over the brain and smash it, right?
Yeah,
and this leads to possibly the malforming of the brain. Yeah.
That's
but
my
it's just
favorite.
like, Paul,
if there's anything wrong, it's your fault. And then he's like picking out glass out of the brain.
He's like, I can fix it. It's just the frontal lobe. And it's like, Paul, you got to beat this guy's ass. You got to whoop this guy's ass.
Whoop this dude's ass now, please. What are you doing?
Well, once you see him like excavating brains, it's like, it's up, knuckles up. It's go time. We're not friends no more. We're not pondering over brandies. It's time to fucking throw down. But yeah, I think Paul is valuable and also useless throughout the movie, which is great.
So we don't get many moments with the maid, but I'm sorry, I'm bringing this up. I don't know if we're in context. I'm moving on from Paul though, because I have to talk about this.
Paul will come back for the ending. Yes,
I have to talk about this poor maid that he just negs nonstop. He's like, I'm gonna bang you.
Did you really think I would marry?
Did you really think I'd marry trash like you?
Yeah, she's like, tell me it's not true. What's that woman here for? And he's like, don't worry about it. You just go around and do the
don't worry
bed
about
and
it,
the
do
dusting. And he's like, fuck off. Get back to work. You're on the clock. And she's like, ha. And then later, she's like, is it true? Are you going to marry her? And he's like, don't worry about it. What's it to you?
Don't worry about it. We'll still bang. It's fine.
I know things. I'll tell people what's going on in this house. And he's like, no, you won't. She's like, yes, I will. Oh, P.S. I got a baby in me. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. She's like, I have a child. Like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah. She has a child, and she's holding up Frankenstein, right? She's like, you thought you were just dropping these nuts? She's like, you're a scientist of life. You know how life works. You've been dropping these nuts. You didn't think the Piper was coming? And in a classic Frankenstein creating life and abandoning it, right? We know where this is going.
Yeah.
So he starts, he's like cornholing the maid or whatever. She gets knocked up. She's like, I'm going to go to the authorities. He's like, no, you ain't. He's like, it's going to be cool. We'll be fine. He brings her into the lab one night and closes the door behind her. And the monster's in there, right? Christopher Lee's monster. In that moment of her like, help! And we see Frankenstein click and just lean his back up against the door and like listen to her being killed by his monster. This scene, I think, is very fascinating when paired with the only murder we see in the first one, like graphically, is the little girl, right? He kills the old man who's trying to euthanize him. This one, they're really reminding us. They're taking the murder off of the monster's hands. Yeah. And as the crime is committed, we're watching Frankenstein's face. Yeah. He is specifically in this moment using the monster as a cudgel, right? And I think it's a really great
this is
thought
weaponizing
experiment for
Frank. This is weaponizing the monster in a way that's like that's not what was intended. I mean, they even give us
this isn't my experiment accidentally got out of control. Yeah. He's like, I can use this. He's killed someone, and now he's using the monster to kill people. Frankenstein,
they even give us
is out of control.
The flavor of they even give us the flavor of the lake scene with the blind grandpa and the kid.
Oh
and
my God, dude!
And
so
it's
when
the
grandpa's like, "Why are you messing with me?" And again, it's playing on the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Where Frankenstein finds this old man, and because he can't see his visage, he just accepts him as another like lonely outsider, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one, Frankenstein sees him. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he tries to get away, and Frankenstein takes him out.
Yeah.
That little kid fishing, and he hears his grandpa scream, and he just kind of walks back into that like alcove, whatever it is, behind the hill, and we just fade to black. And we're like, he might have killed that fucking kid too. Like, the Frankenstein and monster in this one are so much more brutal. Than they were in the past ones, right? Because right after that, we get Paul's like, the monster got out. We got to go get him. And Paul brings a gun, and when the monster's like, Arr! Paul shoots him in the head, and Frankenstein runs over. He's on his knees, and he goes, I hope you're happy with yourself. And I was like, you piece of shit.
You fucking asshole. You piece of shit. This is your fault.
Yeah. He like puts his hands up. I hope you're proud of yourself. He's like, that guy killed people. What are you talking about? Yes, I'm very proud. I'm a good shot. And Frankenstein just cannot stop. And he goes, I don't think I'll ever forgive you for this, Paul.
That's like seeing the American version. That's a scene where the guy would be like, you put him up right now. We are fucking doing this.
All right, we're doing a John Wayne 6-minute brawl. Let's go. This is the quiet man now.
Right now.
Fuck you. Yeah. I would have just butted him with the end of the gun and be like, fine, when the monster wakes up, he can have you. You're both done.
Or he's like, you know what? I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this for the monster.
And then Paul comes back later and he's like, you dug up the monster again? It's like, Paul, you idiot.
Paul.
You're supposed to be a man of science.
Stop being shocked by these things, please.
Yeah. How are you fucking confused by any of this, Paul? I think that's the biggest key difference in this one. There's two to me, right? They crank up the Frankenstein being the monster, right?
Frankenstein is a real piece of shit.
He is so fucking miserable of a person in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe to the point where you're like, maybe it's a little too on the nose. We get it. We understand
it's
who the monster is.
Real rough.
Can we talk about, I gotta say, this movie, the big disappointment of this movie?
I know what you're going to say.
Christopher Lee's Frankenstein monster
Not
is
good.
Awful. Like one of the worst Frankenstein designs I've ever seen. It's bad. It's worse than Van Helsing's Frankenstein. It's fucking bad.
Well, he's got like a Beatles bowl cut, which isn't cool.
Hi, I'm Ringo. It's like, no, you got the wrong brain.
I'm the monster. Where you from? Liverpool. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll be in the octopus's garden. Come find me. It's like, no. And then Frankenstein's like, all right, you're right. We got to destroy it. This is too annoying.
See that? Yeah, that's the thing. If we never get to hear the monster talk in this one, because if you open his mouth, he's like, "Oh, you can't believe what you might imagine if you let your will."
Frankenstein's like, I'm pretty cool with him killing people. I can't do the Beatles karaoke all day. We must end this experiment right now.
yeah. If I got to hear "Love Me Do" one more time, I swear to God. Like I swear to God, I'll get another maid and kill them. That's how upset I am.
I don't just play the drums. No, torture!
No.
Have you heard my cousin that I banged? But no.
Have you heard my other band, Wings? No.
Just hideous axe violence, and he's like, "Dear God, what have I unleashed upon the world?" No. Yeah, the monster in this fucking sucks. And what a waste.
Real bad.
Because Christopher Lee is legitimately a gigantic man.
He's 6'5".
He's so physical and terrifying
So
as Dracula. And in this, they give him like a fucking pea coat. The face is awful. The cloudy eye just doesn't work for me. Again, I think this is a mistake. The monster, because Karloff, they put the like mortician's wax on, right? To create that big brow. Because when they first saw him, they're like, oh, his eyes are too lively, right?
Yeah.
So they put this big amount of mortician's wax on his eyes so that he always had the like half open eye thing, right? But you could still see the eyes. You have to be able to see the vacant Frankenstein eyes taking in this new world. Christopher Lee being like fucking maimed and brutalized and the eye being cloudy, he just looks like shit. Like, it's just one of those things. I remember when I first saw it, they unveiled it and I just went, oh no. I was like, this movie looks awesome. Shot beautifully as all Hammers are, right? The sets are great. The colors are rich. And you're like, oh, that's what you put on the screen? Oh, it's such a fucking massive letdown.
Henry wasn't impressed until he got shot in the eye. And like his eye, and he saw the blood. He goes, whoa. I was like, yeah. All right, there we go.
Yeah. We always like practical on this in these families.
That's the coolest part of the whole thing.
Yeah. I was so sad because this monster looks like shit. I think you could argue if they had done Christopher Lee right and he had a costume that rivaled Karloff's, not the same, probably not a chance it'll be better, but I think this movie could have been, I think this movie would have had a real shot at running ahead of Frankenstein. I really do. I don't disagree. It's not as rich cinematically as Frankenstein, but I think this gets into the human messiness of the story so much more in a way that I think audiences would have found really fun. But that monster comes in and it just fucking shatters the illusion. It's so fucking bad. It's so hideous.
The hair just kills me. Like I'm just like
so bad.
The hair's so bad. Like you're just like, dude, you couldn't have just shaved the head? Like really? You had to keep the hair?
Aren't you doing brain surgeries all the time and the hair gets in the way? Like fix this.
Shave it, please.
Yeah, he couldn't have had a cool like fucking Newsies hat or something. Like what are we doing here?
No. It's gotta have Liverpool
I will say,
hair.
It's a great letdown. I think it's like a -1.5 from the movie. Like it's a big
I don't
fucking
disagree
failure.
with you. Like, and I'm not saying the performance is necessary. Here's the thing. This is how bad it is. It gets in the way of how good Christopher Lee is as an actor. It gets in the way of that performance. So you're like, oh, this is cool. That makeup is so shitty. Like, damn it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
this is the blowjob that ends in a hard bite and blood and not nut. You're like, this is unacceptable. What happened? We were doing so well.
No,
I'm not banging my cousin. I'm not banging the maid. Why'd you do this to me? Ow! Ow! My cock is bleeding. All right, I am banging the maid. I apologize. Don't bite any further.
That was my fault. That was my.
All right. Now that you lay out the evidence, I'm the one who made a mistake. I apologize. I apologize.
Okay. I'll tell you the thing that I like. The whole like third act of this movie. So it's like a party, but they come back. The vat of acid solve. These are some of my favorite like movie things. I love a vat of acid in a movie because you're just like, oh, that's the solve for everything. Great. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, acid will fix everything. Why do you have that? Why do you have that?
Why do you have a vat of acid down here? Don't worry about it. You're like, oh, okay.
You're an old man with dark dyed hair. You don't think you could trip and fall into that? What are you doing, dude? That's not cool.
That'll be fine.
By the way, I've looked into buying acid now. It's not as easy as it used to be.
It's probably not.
I need some acid. But yeah, it's just not like it was. But again, so we do this because I think the last like great moment of the movie is when Paul kills Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
I will say the third act machinations of this one are not fantastic, right? We kind of the monster, he gets out, right? Yeah. Of course, they go looking for him. They're like fighting on the lawn. You're like, you think Frankenstein's going to kill Paul because now he's ready to go tell the authorities after all the nonsense he's seen. They go outside and they're like, on the roof, it's the monster. And of course, Elizabeth, the cousin who's like, I'm a cousin who hasn't been banged in a while, better go look around. She enters the lab and you're just like, fuck, no. Yeah. And there's this scene, this is like kind of a wild thing. So Frankenstein runs back up and he's trying to shoot the monster. Elizabeth never sees the monster.
Right.
The monster's behind her. Frankenstein tries to shoot the monster. Ends up fucking shooting Elizabeth. He like fucking wings her and she's like, ah! And she falls, and him and the monster fight. He puts the torch on Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee falls into the vat of acid. Thus erasing any evidence of the crimes he's committed.
Anything ever happened.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, this is kind of chintzy and weak. This is kind of like a little bit of a hammer. Like, their action sequences are not always my favorite. I will say, though, as lame as that part got,
dude, the ending,
finale of the movie
Metal.
is one of my favorite Frankenstein scenes ever. So he tells the priest the story, and the priest's like, and he's like, you don't believe me. He's like, you believe in fucking old men in the sky, and you don't believe this fucking tale? He's like, yeah, okay. Paul comes to visit him. It's like, Frankenstein, you got a visitor, and it's Paul. And he freaks out, and he's like, Victor, like, tell him it's all true. Tell him I didn't do these murders. And all of a sudden, he's just like, you know, Paul's kind of taking him in. He's like, Paul, save me. As we've seen him do the whole movie, kind of protect him and let him go further and further. Yeah. And he goes, tell him who did the murders. And he goes, who did it, Victor? And Victor fucking freezes. And he's like, oh, fuck. Paul's got me now. Paul's got me. And he lashes out at him violently, right?
Yeah.
But I think that moment of Paul, because he is in a way acknowledging Victor's story. He's not disavowing that there is a monster in this and that. What he's doing is saying, Victor, you did this. You did all of this. And this one's kind of, it's a little weird of an argument to make because he 100% killed the professor in front of us. But he's saying, you killed the maid. You shot Elizabeth, right? All of the problems of this movie are because you and this monster. And you take the blame for the thing you created. In that moment, that power shift dynamic of Frankenstein, like, no! It's fucking incredible. And then Paul walks back out and Elizabeth's in there and he goes, there's nothing we could do for him. There's nothing we can do for him now. And you go, oh, fuck. Is Paul a monster too now? Like, is Paul running up and he's like, now I'll cornhole a cousin and I'll be fucking rich, right? Like, we are left with this. I don't think it paints Paul in this full air of nobility and kind of retroactively works a lot of his stuff like, oh, he knew this was bad, but he's trying to stay close to the pocketbook.
I mean, he was trying to bang the cousin since Jump Street. Like, that was pretty apparent.
Like a lot of, like, barging into a room. Yeah, it felt weird.
Like, she walked in the room and he's like, oh, I must have her. So, like, it was
just
this
make
very...
Victor jealous by plowing his cousin.
Yeah.
And Victor's like, I've got the maid. We could share.
I've got the maid. We're good.
Yeah, I've got big-ass rich person beds. We could all four go. Is that cool? No, not cool?
No, not cool? All right, cool.
Ah, you're biting my cock again. No! But no, I think it's such a beautiful moment. And
it's a great flex.
We actually see Frankenstein getting marched out. The credits roll over a guillotine. Yeah. Like, Frankenstein is going to get it. He's going to be the live brain that he wishes his monster had had. And I was like, all right, so they kind of lost me there for a minute. That ending is a fucking home run. That's a great fucking ending. To the story.
Love, again, like, I love Paul going in just cold-blooded, be like, what about it? Yeah. Deuces.
Sorry, bitch. And he waves his fingers up so he can smell his cousin's essence. And he's like, bye, bitch. I'm out of here. So, Alex, walk me through, as we wrap up here, what do you think, comparing this a little bit to the 31 movie, this is kind of the exercise of the month. Where does this movie rise above, and where does it fall dramatically below? Besides the monster. Besides the monster,
which we can both agree.
Kind of thematically and storytelling-wise.
I think where it rises above is giving someone for Frankenstein to play off of. That's helpful, at least in this context. Now, we've seen other versions of Frankenstein where that's not good.
A lot of times it's kind of the Igor character presents that.
And, you know, like, a lot of the time it's not...
There's a power imbalance in that, though. Yeah. I think this is really well done.
This was really like a toe-to-toe thing, and this is about two doctors essentially experimenting with life. And I think so. I think the Paul Kremp inclusion is good. I mean, there's a little more for Frankenstein to do, but really doubling down on what a piece of shit he is. I think that kind of in the long run hurts it.
Really? Okay, so I would say, yes, the Frankenstein is more on the nose, rubbing our face in that he's a bad guy. Yeah. I think it takes some of the ethical argument of the movie out. Because who wouldn't want to cure death, right? Like, in the first one, they're like, this could be a great medical breakthrough. Paul in this movie says, imagine the good we can do for mankind. We can, like, save all these people. He's like, this is not ready yet. We got to bring back... Like, you see... I think we lose some of that ethical kind of morass for us to sit in. I gotta say, I think Peter Cushing is so much better as Frankenstein than Colin Clive even.
Because
I think there's just a depravity to him that he sells. And yes, the movie's very fucking iron-fisted with this. Yeah. Like this is breaking the metaphor over our head. Mm-hmm. Because it's not even metaphor; it's just text now. Like we're just watching him do crimes and fuck everyone in his vicinity. But I actually think this was a really fun addition. And I think one of the things when you're doing the Frankenstein story, James Whale Frankenstein is the standard bearer. It always will be. You got to find what you can do to make your movie a different and kind of companion piece to it almost. Mm-hmm. When you are recreating something that iconic, you're always tied to it not as your own thing, but as a companion piece.
Well, I think that's
I think they made really great decisions with Kremp and with Frankenstein's relationship to really show us the depravity of a person who would do this. They're not whitewashing him.
No, and I think that's what Hammer Horror does, and sort of understood Hammer Horror understands the assignment really early on, and Horror of Dracula, Curse of Frankenstein, like these movies get the assignment of like, okay, we're not going to beat these classic monster movies that literally set the genre. What do you do? It's like, well, you expand the story a little bit. You give a few more, like you hire just top-notch actors who are going to deliver these really, like
everyone in this movie fucking crushes it.
With shittier casting, who are going to deliver like really, like there's some camp. And that's fine. That's what it's there for.
I fucking love camp. Camp is fine. Great. The movie, also Hammer movies understand that their essence is camp. They're not running from it. And that's what accidental camp can be bad. Well, this is beautiful camp.
I think that's what's cool about when you get Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Like, you can do as camp as you want because you have these two incredible actors doing their shit. And you're like, I got this, though. And you're like, yeah. If they're going to be here, obviously this isn't total dog shit. Like, there's something about that, like, I think that's what's so great about these sort of, they're not remakes, but they're remakes of classic monster movies, essentially, is these Hammer movies do such a good job of kind of like being on Front Street about all the stuff that you like about horror movies. You're like, listen, do you like this? Do you like that? Did you like the classics? Mm-hmm. Cool. Check this out. I really, they're like the guy in the beginning of, like the guy in the beginning, like the Barker in the beginning of Frankenstein walking out behind the curtain, like, hey, you like blood? You like tall British people? You like people who bang their cousins and stuff? This is probably going to be your thing.
Yeah. And, are you into bad haircuts? We got you covered. Yeah. Again, I think the saddest thing in the movie is that the monster brings it dramatically below the original.
It's a bummer.
Like the original is head and shoulders above this movie.
Yeah.
But I think it could have been close. I think of all the Hammer or the Universal to Hammer movies, I think this is the one that could have got there and really made a run at that first one, which is crazy because they're going up against, or not going up against, but they're redoing the greatest Universal monster movie.
Yeah.
But I think if this had a worthy monster, it could have been closer than people think. And I don't know. I really like this movie, warts and all. Bad haircuts and all. Alex,
I completely agree.
Alex, what's the most messed up moment in The Curse of Frankenstein?
It's not super messed up in terms of like gross or like gore or anything. But when he puts the maid in there to get fucking killed by Frankenstein, you're like, Jesus Christ, guy, come on. It's a real hat on a hat.
Not only is he just like, oh, this girl's going to tell my cousin that I've been cheating on her, which is kind of a very Jerry Springer story to begin with.
Yeah.
The maid says she's pregnant. And we never get any evidence that she's not, right? That she's lying. So he puts his wife and his unborn child. This is a moment where we see Frankenstein abandoning yet another life he created. I think that's a really powerful moment in the Frankenstein mythology. It's pretty fucking
gnarly.
Terrifying. If I had to pick a most messed up moment in this, I'm taking the finale. When Frankenstein is told the bloody tale of what he's done, And he still thinks he's going to get away with it, right? He still thinks, I'm Frankenstein. I'm rich. I'll be fine. Rich people are always fine. And Paul comes to the door, right? His tutor and longtime friend. And he's like, Paul, tell him everything I said is true. Tell them who killed everyone. And he goes, who did it, Victor? And you see Frankenstein's face fall, that he will not be protected by his wealth, by the people around him. He is going to pay for the crimes we saw in this movie, for the crimes we saw in the 1931 movie, for the treatment of this monster, for the maid and his unborn child. He's going to fucking pay for it. For maybe the first time in any of these movies, and we watch him walk out and the credits roll over a guillotine. That was some cathartic filmmaking for me. I fucking love that moment. So that's it for the Curse of Frankenstein. We'll be back tomorrow with yet another amazing October horror movie. We stand on the abyss of madness, and we are happy to join with you celebrating all things horror. If we don't celebrate October on the Messed Up Movies podcast, what are we even
doing here?
So make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to Misfit Parade, get video versions of the pods and all kinds of other fun stuff there. Make sure you go to the Messed Up Movies podcast Patreon page. Best way to support the show. Get the extra episodes, get the miniseries. Tell us what you want this show to become. We like our patrons to have a real voice in making this show even better. So we would appreciate your support over there, especially this month, man. We put in a lot of time on October. It's our favorite time of year. Help us out, man. Help us out. Bye!